question 1, we have a table here, time studying in hours against test marks in percentage. 1.1, use a scatter plot to represent the data above. Okay, when you're drawing a scatter plot, you need to identify which is your x-axis and which is your y-axis. So our x-axis will take time studying in hours, and our y-axis will be test marks in percentage. To draw a scatter plot, you need to plot all these points. So the first point or coordinate we take is 2 and 40. We plot that point on our scatter plot. The next coordinate is 10 and 90, then is 3 and 50, 4 and 55, and so on. Where, for example, 4 is your x value and 55 is your y value, so you plot your point as such. You do that for all of them, you should end up with 9 points in this case, and that is basically your scatter plot. What I have done here as well is I've just drawn my line of regression. It's part of the next question. I'll just move on to that one then. 1.2, if the equation of the least squares regression line is y is equal to 32.33 plus 4,98x, answer the following questions. 1.2.1, if a student studies for 7 hours, determine what test mark he or she should score. So 7 hours now was on our x-axis, which means that we can replace x in this equation with 7. So y would then equal to 32.33 plus 4,98 times 7. Our y answer there is 67,19, and that would be in percentage. 1.2.2, draw the least squares regression line. Okay, to draw the least squares regression line, if you have the equation, is very simple. All you do is you need to get 2 points because it's a straight line graph. So I have used x as 0 and then x as 10 again. So just as we have calculated the y value in 1.2.1 there, you can calculate 2 y values for x is 0 and x is 10 the same way, and you'll get 2 more coordinates. Plot those 2 coordinates and join the lines, join those points, and you'll get your straight line, which is your least squares regression line. 1.3 now, state any outliers. So 1.3, my answer here is 8 and 40. If you look at your scatter plot, which I have here on the right, an outlier is a point that doesn't really follow the trend of the other points that are plotted. So the one that's here on the graph that's not really following the trend is 8 and 40. 1.4, determine the correlation coefficient. Now to determine the correlation coefficient, you use your calculator. My final answer there was r is equal to 0.76. I'll just try to explain that quickly to you how I did that on my calculator. So for correlation coefficient, the first thing you do on your calculator is you go to mode, then you choose stat, then you choose option 2, which is a plus bx, then you fill in your x and y values, all of them from that table there. Then you press AC, then you press shift, then you press the number 1, then you choose option 5, which is regression, then you choose option 3, which is R, and your R answer, once you press equals, will give you 0.76, which is your correlation coefficient. 1.5, what does your answer in 1.4 mean? Okay, so my R answer is a positive answer, so it means it's a positive relationship. And 0.76. Now the correlation coefficient, it can range from -1 all the way up to +1. So 0.76 I can say is a moderately strong positive relationship.